What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now, a question that I do get very often is, Tyler, how in the world are you finding some of these stocks whenever they're sitting so low in price? How are you finding these stocks that people just start trading a lot? You're like, I go through Reddit, I go through Twitter, I go through StockTwits, but I can never find those companies who are sitting at 0.0003 or 0.0008, and I really want to get on one of these companies who's about to explode. And well, at the end of the day, yes, that is always the mission. The mission is to always try to figure out, okay, what's the next upcoming thing? What's something that people just started to get excited about? The price is just starting to go up. The volume is just starting to go up, and we can get in now so that if, it does continue and this momentum does build for this company, we can make some good profits. Well, I do have a few different ways in which I do find those companies, but I have one very specifically that has made my life very, very easy over the last couple weeks. Now, what I will say is that anytime I do find a company that I find interesting or has a lot of potential with a low price, maybe a lot of volume, I do always talk about it in my Patreon. Now, I will show you here that we are currently running out of slots in the $5 a month tier, which is the lowest tier. It provides you access to the Discord, me and my investment team. You pretty much have everything that you will need on a basic level, just to start getting an idea of trading and, talking about penny stocks, etc. There's over 100 people in this overall Discord now. The community is absolutely phenomenal, and we have been seeing some fantastic gains over the last couple weeks. So what I did want to go ahead and do today is just bring to you guys the most successful method in which I have found some of these lower penny stocks that I typically do bring to my YouTube channel very often. So the place that I will typically find the lowest penny stocks are the penny stocks that have a very low price with some pretty high volume. Basically the ones that just hit the scene, that people just got excited about, and you can really start to pay attention to where all of the momentum is going to be on otcmarkets.com. Now, this is not a paid promoted video. This is nothing like that. I am simply just giving you guys the easiest way in which I will find some of these stocks. Now, a good thing about this is they do allow you to have a few different options, which I do utilize pretty much each and every one depending on what I'm looking for. But if I'm looking for a company like, let's say HCMC, for example, as you've seen that on my channel recently, if I go and I see some with a pretty low price but very high share volume, I know, okay, there may be some potential here for a quick short-term trade, which is something that I have been somewhat focusing on recently. I am a long-term investor, but when it comes to trading, I typically like to get in and get out, and typically there will be no better companies for me to be able to do that on and then on these very low price, high volume companies. Now, the key thing that I look for whenever it comes to these is looking for ones that just started to go up. If you see that company that's already up 400 or 500% over the span of like 4 or 5 days, well, realistically, your upside, in my opinion, is pretty limited just depending on how far it runs. But if you find one like HCMC, which in my opinion still has room to go, that's only been exploding for a couple of days and its stock price is still just at 0.0008, but a high total volume, a high share volume, that tells me that, okay, there may be some potential here with the right catalyst. Now, all of this is stuff that I do only typically share in my Patreon, but again, I did want to make sure that I keep all of my subscribers up to date as well, as I know everyone can access to Patreon, and I do believe it's fair to provide you all with the same value as well. Now, whenever it comes to these, we are going to be looking at the top 5 different stocks that had the highest share volume on the OTC market this week. Now, if you are unfamiliar of what the OTC market is, the OTC market refers to the process of how securities are traded via a broker-dealer network as opposed to on a centralized exchange. Over-the-counter trading can involve equities, debt instruments, and derivatives, which are financial contracts that derive their value from an underlying asset such as a commodity. But it says in some cases, but in most cases that we will see on this channel, some securities might not meet the requirements to have a listing on a standard market exchange such as the NYSE or the New York Stock Exchange. Instead, these securities can be traded over the counter. So as we have seen, some of these companies who maybe can't stay under $1, they don't meet that bid price rule. And if they fall off of that, they get delisted, well, they might delist down to an OTC. Or for example, we'll see some companies like ABML who currently trades on the OTC, but is starting to meet the requirements of more of the centralized exchanges or the higher up exchanges that we will soon see hopefully get uplisted to like the NYSE or the NASDAQ or one of those. So the OTC is kind of just, it's the more low level market that pretty much any security is able to trade on with some requirements. So I'm not going to be doing full-blown stock breakdowns of each one of these companies, but I will go over their stats that we did see from the last couple trading days, and then I will also just give a brief overview of what the company is, just in case, hey, you might find one of these interesting, and now you kind of understand the process of starting to find some of these potential short-term trades. Now, so the first one, of course, is going to be HCMC. Now, their price is sitting at 0.0008, which they had a most recent a 14% change in stock price. Their dollar volume was up at 7 million in the last trading day, and share volume sitting at about 4.2 billion with about 18,000 trades. So that has been pretty dang on substantial. We have seen loads of share volume. Now, this is not always a great thing. You know, having a lot of volume is good, but having a substantial amount like this is insane, especially compared to some of these other ones. Absolutely crazy. Now, we have seen HCMC, so I'm not going to go too far into this company, but basically they are going to be a holding company that has a few different subsidiaries. Now, the first one that they have is going to be a big old market, about 18,000 square feet, but that's not really the main focus. It's basically going to be the fact that they are going through a lawsuit at the moment. They're suing Philip Morris International as they do believe they infringed on a patent. I talked about all of this in my most recent video on this channel, so definitely go check it out if that is something in which you are interested in. Now, the next one is going to be FTEG, sitting at the same stock price and about the same percentage change, but we can see that the dollar volume is nowhere even close to the same. But the share volume was sitting at about 2 billion at about 1,657 trades. So what this company does itself is if you go ahead and you click their ticker symbol, you can go over to the company profile and we can see what this company is all about. So FTEG is going to be For the Earth Corporation. They are an emerging integrated CBD producer and retailer in the US. The company is in the process of establishing a vertical framework that will extend from cultivation to extraction and production to a strategic retail footprint that includes multiple locations in Las Vegas and New York, featuring mall kiosks, vending machines, e-commerce, and full store locations serving both the human and pet CBD markets. So this is actually a pretty interesting company. We have been seeing this one a bit going around Reddit, so I think this one may have some potential to start gaining some traction very, very soon here. And who knows, maybe I will do a more of a a breakdown and an analysis in the future here. Now, we can see that it is a verified profile, which is nice. So it does show that this is legit and this is a straight up company. Next up on the list, we do have BDGR. This stands for Black Dragon Resource Companies. Now, again, if we go over to company profile, we can see that this is an issuer who produces oil and natural gas from wells in Louisiana, the home state, in Texas. The issuer uses contract operators to service these wells. The issuer researches and purchases additional oil and gas leases based on its management's evaluation of the potential return on investment. So, I mean, right. So say if you're going through and you're looking for something specific, say if you're looking for a company like this one who's in the oil and natural gas, and then you come across it, you say, okay, well, this one has a low stock price, some high trade volume. I think that oil and natural gas, and this is not me speaking literally, this is just hypothetical, but I think oil and natural gas is about to do well. I want to find that company who's just hit the market, who's very fresh, who I might be able to pick up on some smaller short-term gains on. Well, this could definitely be your one. Now, one thing that I do want to make very clear while this does load is that if you're looking for the ones with the share volume with these low prices, you must understand that these are the riskiest of the risky. The lower the stock price, typically the more risky it is, because you'll see the most drastic changes in their stock price. So definitely, again, if you are trading anything in the OTC, any of these penny stocks in the stock market, be very, very careful, man. Like, very careful, as it is just as easy to lose all your money if you don't manage your risk right. And if you don't understand your strategy of investing, if you don't know what you're doing, educate yourself before you go into this, because they are extremely risky. Well, next up, we do have TMGI. This is going to be the fourth one that we're looking at. Their stock price is going to be at 0.0017. The percent change recently was about 41%, so it has not been doing that great over the last couple trading days. Their dollar volume is at about 2.9, coming up on 3 million, and their share volume at 1.7 billion with 3,000 trades. Now, TMGI is going to stand for the Marquee Group. Again, we come over to company profile. The Marquee Group is a direct-to-customer health and beauty products platform with a pipeline of innovative solutions to pervasive wellness concerns using advanced formulations of plant-based amino acid and CBD alternatives to chemical ingredients. Man, CBD has been on a roll in these penny stocks, huh? The company will market its products through its wholly owned subsidiary, Music of Your Life, a nationwide syndicated radio network simulcast on the internet. So this one's pretty interesting. If we do go over, we may be able to check out some of their financials just to see what all they have going on. And one little handy thing is if you go over the balance sheet here, it does somewhat break it down just to show you what all they have going on. So right here, we can just see already, just off rip, that their assets are kind of off. They're kind of wonky a bit, that they're growing in their liabilities, and that their net tangible assets is growing a decent bit too. So as we can see, this is just a brief breakdown of all their financials if you do want to check that out. But again, I don't want to hold you all too long here, as if you are interested in one of these companies, companies, you should definitely do your research. And last but not least, we are going to be going over SCIE. This is going to be the 5th highest share volume trade that we have seen on the OTC in the last week. Now we can see here that their price is sitting at 0.001, so we're getting up there a little bit. The percent change was about 58%, so they declined about 58%, which is a pretty high amount. Their dollar volume sitting at about 2.4 million, with their share volume at almost 1.6 billion through 3,300 trades. So we can go ahead and again, company profile, and this is one of the ones that I would usually avoid. If we go ahead, we see their description is going to just say medical device manufacturer. So there's really not too much information. We don't have an account verified button here. And then I'm assuming if we go to financials that it's going to have been a while. Let's see. Yeah, so here we go. We can see pretty clearly it typically runs about the same. That we haven't gotten a financial report from them in about 4 years now. So it has been some time. So this is one of those companies that I would avoid, as I don't even like to look at these companies that are just kind of sketchy, because even if I am trying to make short-term gains, I do like to know where my money is and understand the company in which I'm making short-term trades on, just in case for some reason I do end up stuck in the company on a long-term basis. But overall, this is just the way in which I will find some of these stocks. If you guys do like this method, you know, in the way in which I'm finding them, if you do want to know more methods, because this is just one, I have like 4 or 5 different ways I find some of these companies, definitely let me know if you want to see more videos on how I find them and just kind of going like I did today. Just doing some brief research, some brief due diligence, and seeing what some of these companies are all about. If you do like that style, I can definitely continue to do it. And if not, hey, we can get back to the stock analysis and everything like that ASAP. But with that being said, I do post on this channel 2 to 3 times every single day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.